For anybody who's seen, I'll stand. I'm gonna come over here.
That was not him. That was me. I'm sorry.
Yep. For anybody who's seen Jason Gray, that's one of his things. He actually, while he's getting plugged in and stuff, he's like, keep it going, keep it going. He really eggs it on. Like he gets a lot of applause.
Yeah. It was funny.
Okay.
Jason was in the studio with me yesterday in Nashville.
There we go.
Together, and he's one of the funniest people on earth. And if y'all have seen Jason Gray, we were like, there was some, there's some line on a song that he was supposed to sing, and we were like, hey man, we need you to really get into it. He's like, okay, I got it. And like if you sing Amazing Grace, he'd be like, Amazing Grace. And he's like, all right, track starts. He goes, amazing, and everybody just fell out. And it was Phil Joel was in there. We were just having a ball. But I love Jason. What a great guy. And I enjoy playing shows with Jason. He's one of my favorite artists of all time, actually. Jason Gray.
All right, that's one of the questions coming up. So save that for later.
Oh,
okay. All right, so we sent out an email and asked some people to ask some questions, and then made up a few extras. So first one, actually, I just would love for you to just give everybody a little idea of what's going on, like with family stuff, like how many kids, what are they doing, just something.
All right, so my wife and I have been married. Hang on, look at my key here. No, we've been married 22 years this year, and we have a 19-year-old son who just started college. I think I was telling you guys about that earlier. He started college at Lipscomb University. He's a music major and just an amazing, talented songwriter, producer, and all that stuff. And right now he is actually preparing for a show that he's going to play in Clarksville tomorrow, which is kind of cool at a big festival there in Clarksville, Tennessee, where I live. And my daughter is 16. Her name's Haven. So I have Avery as my son. Haven is my daughter. Haven is 16. She's a junior in high school. Right now she's the captain of the cheerleading team, and she's at a football game right now in Clarksville. And she's an incredible musician as well. Some of you guys, I don't know if you saw her, we played Elevate, and she came out and sang. Very talented, some crazy things on the horizon for her. I'll tell you guys, we're not really supposed to talk about it a lot, but she got scouted to be on American Idol, and so she's got some big auditions coming, and y'all can just pray for me as her father to keep me together. I'm so nervous for her, but she's got it. I've never met anybody in my life who was more capable of handling situations and stuff than my daughter, so excited about her.
You're a little nervous about sending your 16-year-old daughter out to perform in front of the world?
Yeah, it's crazy, but again, my wife and I, we've done everything we can. There comes a point where we have to let them fly, and we've kind of been hiding her a little bit under a rock, a little bit. But it's funny, it came for her. I was telling her this the other day, when she did her Zoom audition, which was really weird. At the end of it, she couldn't believe that they were sending. The last thing that this lady said, she said, "I hope you're ready to meet Katy Perry. We're going to send you to Las Vegas to meet her." And so it's just really kind of cool. And she looked at me and I said, "Baby, it's coming for you now. I can't hold it back anymore. You were meant to do this. So just do the best you can to the glory of God and have fun." So yeah, it's crazy. That's what's happening with my family.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so next one is basically, so how did the band get started?
Yeah.
Meaning, where did you, talk about, maybe some of the original members and how you met, got together, and started a band?
Yeah, well, like I said, I guess I was maybe 19 or something like that. I'd been in a band before, Building 429. It was kind of a regional band. We got offered a record deal, and the band just, everybody just kind of didn't want to do it. And I remember thinking, wait a minute, this is what I thought that we were wanting to do. And my wife, who's just kind of been this rock and anchor in my life, she's like, "Jason, you got to find some people that are crazy enough to follow you and to just really go all in on this idea." And at the last show that I played with that band in Raleigh, it was Raleigh, North Carolina, probably had 1,000 people there. One of the people in the crowd came up and said, "Hey, I'm a bass player. I hear this is your last show. Would you like to get together and start working, together maybe on some things?" And I had nothing else, and I was looking for some people, and so I was like, "Sure, let's go." And so we started rehearsing together in Raleigh, North Carolina, a bass player and a drummer that we met, and just kind of played any place that anybody would let us play. We weren't good. We were really bad. as with anything, I'm sure some of you guys have heard like the Malcolm Gladwell, like 10,000 hours type thing. Like we just put in our hours, we just work so hard. The idea is if you put 10,000 hours into anything, you can become an expert at that thing. And so we just put our 10,000 hours into just working and trying to get better. I was a terrible singer at that point. And honestly, I was looking for a singer to be the singer for the band when we found our way to Nashville, and the lady in the room that I was playing for said, "I love your voice." And I was like, "Really?" Okay. Because my mother-in-law, when I met her, the first thing my mother-in-law said to me after I said, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you." Her name was Wyland. I was like, "Nice to meet you, Miss Wyland." She said, "You need to stop smoking now." I don't smoke. I can't do anything about this way I sound, And anyway, it turns out that what we look at as like the thing that's an inhibiting factor about us, right? The thing that's different about us actually becomes this great strength when you lean into it and you go, "This is who God made me to be. So I'm just going to own it and do the best that I can with what God has given me." And it's crazy how it worked. Like honestly, I didn't have any money. I had no connections, no ties. I didn't have the right guitar amp. And I'd been praying like, "God, I need a guitar amp." And I know that, no lie, Saturday morning there was a knock at the door at our house in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and no one was there. But I opened the front door, and there was a $2,000 Marshall half stack sitting there, and it said, "We believe in you. Go do what God's called you to do." I don't even know who gave it to me to this day. I have no idea, And I remember that we did an event that they didn't pay us, and it was like, actually no, they stole $5,000 from the bank, and we were upside down and broke. And I remember that we're telling my small group, we're praying like, "I don't know how we're gonna get through this. What are we gonna do? Like I don't know." And no lie, somebody's like, "Well, here's 6,000, take that and go." And I remember just being like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "No, this is God's money. We're giving it to you to do God's work." And so just over and over again, God did all these crazy things and just kept telling us over and we're on the right path. And it may not be easy, but we're on the right path. And so that's kind of how it got started. Yeah.
My money's on the mother-in-law, probably him.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next one. Please tell us the story behind the song and the video for the song "You Can."
Oh, thank you whoever asked that. I appreciate that. I was writing for that record, and I remember, so some of you don't know that song, but the song, "Can't walk on the water, can't stand in the fire, unless I look into your eyes, unless I have you by my side. Can't conquer a giant, I shut the mouth of a lion. I know that I am just a man, but when I'm in your hands, you can." And that's the song. I wrote that for a record. And I just remember that I wrote that with a guy named Matt Hammett. Yeah.
They all know Matt.
He's all right. Yeah, I love Matt. And anyway, so we were trying to figure out what's the idea going to be with this music video. And I had this thought of like, well, what if we took the thing that is broken about us and let that be in this depiction of this song, the heroic thing in the video. And so what ends up happening in the video, I kind of wrote the storyboard of it, and basically this guy who's an amazing actor, he actually, the story is a veteran from war, goes off to war and loses his right leg at war, and he's been an athlete his whole life, and it just takes everything away from him, and he can't run, he's struggling to figure out how to live with this new prosthetic limb, and he goes out to he's spending all his time trying to be able to move and get faster and stronger and all. And he's struggling at home because of it, because he's always been the man of the house and handled things as a big, strong guy. Anyway, one day he goes out for yet another run to train to get better, and his wife and his kids are in a car, and they have this wreck, and the car gets set on fire, and he sees it from a distance and runs to the car, and he can't break into the car. There's nothing he can do to get into the car, but then he finally realizes that he has this prosthetic limb, this metal thing on his foot that he would have never had before, and he takes that and smashes the window and saves his family. And that was the idea that I had for the video, and sure enough, that's what we ended up doing with the video. And the actor that we had was just amazing. He's been on a bunch of TV shows. His name's Redmond. And I don't know, it's just one of those things where I just dreamed it up, and sure enough, it ended up being really impactful. For those of you who have seen it, you know what's going on. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to go look at it. We spent a lot of time on it, you know, so. But yeah, it's called You Can, and that was the idea behind it.
Good question. All right, so I know you mentioned the recording studio earlier when you were talking about Jason visiting. So tell us, I guess, just, you know, the purpose and how that got started. And I think, what's the name of the studio? What's the story behind the name?
Of my personal studio? Havery Studio, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, well, Havery Studio is as all things in my life. I mean, it's half my son's name, Avery, and half my daughter's name, Haven. And, you know, when COVID happened, I decided that I was gonna, you know, like when touring's done, like there's nothing happening, and I'm not good at just sitting around. That's just not me and idle time. It just doesn't work that well. Right? I'm just kind of one of these wild guys that always likes to be moving and shaking and all that kind of stuff. And so I had always wanted to produce other artists, and I always felt like I could write songs for other artists. So I was like, well, I'm gonna build a studio, and I'm gonna start working, number one, on my daughter's music for her, and then I'll take clients. And sure enough, in a wild way, I remember we did no touring, and we did no touring at all that year. There was no money coming in, and God just poured out His blessings on the studio. I think I was telling Ethan that in the last 2 years, I think I produced like 45 songs for different artists all over the place, and written a bunch of different songs. And it's right there at my house, which is absolutely amazing sometimes and horrible other times. But you know. With the kid, my daughter, she likes the studio is my daughter's domain. I mean, she just comes right in the middle of everything because she's a songwriter and everything. But I love it. It's great. It's so much fun for me to now have all the tools that I always dreamed of having right there in front of me to be able to create music when I want to create music in the way that I feel like I'm called to. So there it is.
Awesome. All right, kind of on the same idea. Someone asked, how many instruments can you play?
The guitar, I got that. It's half the time. I don't know if y'all heard, I played a few bad notes along the way there, but no, you know, look, over time, you end up playing a lot of instruments. You just kind of start picking them all up. I was trained to be a Southern gospel pianist. That's what I was trained to be. My grandfather wanted me to be able to sing bass for my mother and her sisters, right? And play piano for them, and then. Like I said, I heard Led Zeppelin and suddenly wanted an electric guitar. And they didn't give me that. They gave me an acoustic guitar first. And I was like, this sucks, an acoustic guitar. But, you know, the truth is like, again, like all these things that my mom and my dad were trying to get me to kind of learn how to do just ended up being awesome. Once you know the piano, honestly, you have the basis for every other instrument out there. So, yeah, if you can hear it on a record, for the most part, I can play it. Ethan's better by far than I am on drums. But I've definitely played drums on projects and stuff like that as well. Play bass, and everything else. You know, I played some harmonica, gosh, you know, you can make records playing a desk. I'm not making this up. You can. It's the craziest thing ever. You can play a desk these days and sound like a drummer. It's no lie. So, and it's fun. I love taking up. And honestly, I almost started playing bass for Building 429 just for fun, just to see if I could do it. You know, because I love a challenge. I love learning new stuff. And my encouragement to you is you're never too old, ever. You're never too old to learn something new. And I also say to young musicians, you got no excuses at all. Like, there were no YouTube videos when I was growing up. What are you talking about? I had to go buy like the Merle, whatever, Mel something or other book. Remember what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you had to go get a book at the local music store and figure out what's this guy talking about. Now you watch a YouTube video on how to play everything and they show you line by line. It's not fair. Anyway, I'm done.
You're not bitter at all.
Not at all.
All right, how about favorite song that you wrote for Building 429? Is there one song that you can pick out? Maybe it's just right now your current favorite or all-time favorite, or...
That I wrote for Building 429. You know, I think that probably one of my favorite songs is that Where I Belong song that I told you about, mostly because I was a co-writer on that song. Me and a guy named Jason Ingram wrote that song. Jason writes all songs. But I love that song because it was once again a song where we went in and we played it for the record label and they were like, nope, not gonna work. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's not gonna work. It's too simple. Nah, won't ever work. And I remember being like, y'all, like, no, it's awesome. It's, you know. And then I remember that we sent it out to radio in October that year, and they called us like the end of November, and they said, guys, sorry, the song didn't work. We're moving on to the next song. And I was like, oh, no, you're not. No, like we're gonna hang in there on this song because then it flips to Christmas music. Anyway, we went out January 6th, I think, of that year and played the first arena on the Winter Gym Tour. And, you know, we're playing the intro of the song and I'm singing it, and then we get to the chorus, all I know is I'm not home yet. And I'm just watching, and all these people are singing, like, and then the second chorus comes around, and I go, and the whole arena just, like, I couldn't even hear myself or the band anymore. And then the next night it happened again, and the next night it happened again, and the next night it happened again. And I remember just feeling like, man, like God's in the middle of these things, and you know, He had His hand on that. And I also want to make sure that when I say that take this world and give me Jesus, it's not like I want to die. That's not what it's saying, you know, like this at all. That's not what the song is saying. What the song is saying is the things of this world mean nothing compared to the knowledge of Jesus Christ in our lives. So take it all. Clarification.
All right, so I got like 4 more. So
let's go. Let's make it quick.
Try to be quick.
I can talk too much.
All right, so how about just like 1 or 2 songs that you wrote for other people that you're really proud of? You said you've been writing for other people.
Well, I mean, a lot of them aren't even out yet.
Okay.
That's a weird thing
How about one that we can look forward to?
Well, there is actually a song that, well, I have a song that's about to come out for a record called Our Common Home is the name of the record, and it's called It's All Yours, and I'm really excited about that. I think it's a super cool song. And then there's also, I'm trying to think of the name of the song. This is bad. I write too many songs, people. I can't remember all the songs, right? I Believe It. There's a song called I Believe It by a guy named Billy Ballinger, and it is out. He's an independent artist, but this song is awesome. You need to check it out. It's called I Believe It. And I love the lyrics. It says, what you say, I believe it. I don't even need to see it. I'm gonna walk like it's already done. I'm gonna walk like it's already done. Lift my hands high cause you've already won. Anyway, it just makes me super happy to say, I believe this, God. I don't have to see it done. Anyway, I believe it.
What's his name again?
Billy Ballinger. Billy Ballinger.
There we go.
There's your plug.
Okay. Favorite band to tour with?
Not Toby Mac.
So we're bashing on Toby Mac for King and Country, right?
No, Toby, for sure, Toby. He's just, you know, he's one of the greatest people. Actually, Toby and the Newsboys, I love both of them. And even though when I found out Michael Tate was going to be the lead singer of the Newsboys, I called him. It's like, bro, what? Like, no, you can't, no. He's like, yeah, bro, yeah, because you know he talks real fast. So I'm going to notice he talks like this real fast, you know. It's like, yeah, I had to, man. I had to do it, you know. And I love Michael Tate. He's come out to my house and we've had dinner together and stuff like that. And he kind of considers himself like my daughter's kind of like second dad, you know. So anyway, I'll say that to say I love the Newsboys. I love DC Talk. I love Toby. And I love For King Country. They're amazing. Like, so I love all artists. But truthfully, the best to tour with, I think, one of the best times of my life was right when the Newsboys were kicking off the second round with Tate as the front man, and they were figuring it out. We were out on a tour, and then I think we did like maybe 80 shows with them. And we worked out together, out every day, and I just really fell in love with those guys. Like, Duncan is for sure a weirdo, but I love him. So, love those guys.
So, yeah, some people are so blessed, right? Oh, sorry, I'm not in DC Talk anywhere, but now I'm the lead singer of the
I know. Hey, all right, whatever, cool.
Okay, two more.
That's it. Yeah, I'm leaving Building 429. I'm going to be in Casting Crowns. You know?
All right. Favorite food?
Well, favorite food. What? That's my favorite food? You know my favorite food. Are you stalking me? What is going on?
How about this? It's your birthday, and someone's gonna cook your favorite meal. What do you pick it?
Yeah, I mean, tacos.
Isn't that everybody's answer?
No. Okay, all right, so my favorite food in the world, my favorite thing, it comes from childhood. My dad, when I was young, he would do this thing, we call it the royal recipe in our house. Royal recipe? Yeah, that's it. But it's chocolate ice cream, right? And it's only Bluebell chocolate ice cream from Texas. Thank you. With just the slightest bit of milk poured over the top of it, because it becomes like it's a reverse. Anybody ever been to Dairy Queen and you get like your ice cream with chocolate over the top of it and it freezes, and it's the opposite of that, because your milk freezes as vanilla over the top of it. It's amazing. And that's my favorite thing. Yeah.
That's not food. That's
Well, we're gonna go with it. And the sake of
Mom.
So we're gonna go. We have just like a couple food questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Rapid fire.
In-N-Out Burger versus Whataburger.
In-N-Out. I'm from Texas. Whataburger's not that
All right. Chick-fil-A versus Cane's.
good. Versus what?
Cane's. Do you even know Cane's?
No.
Oh, Chick-fil-A wins, I guess.
Dude, I don't need to know Cane's. We got Chick-fil-A.
Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, I'm sorry. I love y'all, but Starbucks. I'm sorry to the New Yorker, wherever you are. I know you're Dunkin' Donuts. Are you Starbucks? See, exactly. All you New Yorkers, I know.
It's an East Coast thing.
It's a North thing.
Northeast, not your side.
Northeast.
Not where you
No,
are.
not
where you are.
North Carolina. No,
Right.
sir.
All right, last one. I know you kind of hit this earlier, but like, what's next? What's next for Jason and Building 429?
Oh man, we have got, just today we were talking about some really cool ideas that we have. We want to go back and some of these older songs. We want to revisit some of the older songs, but bring in our friends to be a part of it. And so I think that'll be fun. I'm writing new songs as we speak. In fact, the last 3 days I've kind of been in studios working on new music, and I'm embracing some of the questions that right now. I think that it's really one of those cool things to be in a place where I know who God is, I know how faithful He is, and I know that I still have a whole lot to learn. And in that place, I really would like to be able to write music that speaks to kind of, I'm 43 now. It's shocking. And I want to write for that kind of situation. I know. Oh my gosh, he's not 26. You had no idea, right? But anyway, so I'm excited. I'm super excited about what's next for Building 429, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. It's going to be super fun. So please follow us. Please come along for the ride, right?
All right. Let's say thank you to Jason for giving us a little extra time here tonight.